I can't tell you how many essays I had to write during my school career about the American dream. Oh, the things that we get to dream about in the American dream. Well, guess what? It's actually within a little box that we get to dream, right? We get to dream, but it has to be within certain confines. And I'll tell you, my answer today would be a whole lot different than my answer that was back in school, because today I would probably tell my teachers, well, the American dream is actually our golden calf. Ouch. Yeah. There's 3 reasons I really believe that it has become our golden calf. And the first one is that the American dream tends to dictate our goals, puts those goals in a box. We have to be independent, self-sufficient, safe, no bankruptcy. We have to live on the good part of town, and we have to be comfortable, right? Get what we want. We're working towards what we want. I want to live in a city. I want to live in a suburb. I want to live on the beach. Whatever that is, the American dream is what we want. And those goals get defined by not so much God, but our worldly comfort, right? In the Bible, the people that we revere the most, their goals were actually to follow God and do what he was asking. The Israelites were actually killed or plagued or put into slavery when they didn't follow God. Paul's goals were to follow God and preach where he was led by the Lord, but what happened? He was beaten, he was stoned, he was shipwrecked, he was jailed. That doesn't sound very comfortable or self-sufficient, does it? But he celebrated in joy because his goal was not to live up to the American dream. His goal was to disciple men. The second reason the American dream has become a golden calf is that the American dream has actually been able to define our success as a society. We think success of this straight path towards the house, the car, the family, the career, the nest egg, and anything that gets us off of this path, it must be bad. Wait a second. Hold up here. Time out. What does the Bible say about success? Well, the Israelites, they had to follow God in order to successfully gain food like manna or the birds that would fly in when they pleaded for meat from the Lord. Their success of living was really to follow the Lord. And it just goes from there. That he wanted to get that basic lesson ingrained into them. Paul ran a successful race following God, and Jesus was homeless and crucified on a cross as a criminal, and yet we count him as perfect, as the most successful man on earth. As Christians, that's who he is. Why? Well, because yes, he was God as man here, but mostly, look, he was perfect because he never sinned, and he listened and obeyed his Father in heaven, and that was his success. The number 3 reason that the American dream has become a golden calf is that this golden calf, this American dream, encourages greed. We've allowed it to define us. Ooh, if I don't have the house, the boat, the nest egg, the security, then I am lacking and I am unsuccessful. I am suddenly a failure in the eyes of America. So we're constantly looking at what we can get. What am I lacking and what can I get? Looking outside of ourselves. Sure, I will give money. I absolutely will. And yes, I will tithe, but I'm not going to give any more until I've gotten enough first. Look, Paul, Peter, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Jesus gave up so much. At a certain point, they all decided, Jesus very early on, of course, that they were going to give up everything and every day of their lives, mostly unto death, as God instructed them, to live as God instructed them, and as Jesus modeled. They gave up money, reputation, status, safety. These are the men that we are asked to role model after. And look, God calls many of us Christians to be in the workplace and have steady jobs and bring our kids to soccer and dance class. That's great. I had that upbringing. It was wonderful. My parents were still very Christian and still wanted to put God first. Because look, the problem actually comes in when we are more concerned about how we look to the other soccer moms and whether we get the right promotion for our career, rather than put God first and ask Him, God, where do you want me? What is it that you want me to do? Because I want that first. I want to be successful in what you have for me first, not to make sure that I live as the American dream says I should, but how you want me to live, Father. And when we put how He wants us to live on the back burner or even second, that's when that American dream can creep on in there and become our golden calf idol. So, what is it in your life that has become this golden calf idol? What part of the American dream are you trying to live up to and not asking God what He wants you to do in that situation? This week I ask you to repent of that so we can melt down that calf idol.